Hello everyone, Fett here. Continuing on from Omnibus Volume 1, I'm going to do Omnibus Volume 2. And as I did before, I'm going to tell a little synopsis of each story in order of the Omnibus. And I definitely found the second volume good, but not nearly up to scale of how great it could have been to Volume 1. Volume 1 was great. The best part was the Battle of Jabim, which was the most intense and best battle out of a comic I have ever seen. This battle tests not only Anakin, but also Obi-Wan Kenobi. You will know what I mean as I get into the story. But for now, let's start. First, we start with the first story called Bloodlines. For this story, I definitely recommend reading Darth Plagueis. The book, I forget who the author is, but I'd have to say this is the best Star Wars novel I have read in quite a long time. It explores the origins of Plagueis, Sidious, and Maul. Explores all their origins. So if you have no idea who Sidious is, you'll know once you read this book. And you'll understand his origins. Definitely epic in scale. A must read for all Star Wars fanatics. I mentioned this novel because this story, Bloodlines, is actually in the Darth Plagueis novel. It corresponds with that. Palpatine used the friendship of a Jedi named Vidar Kim to get his trust and use it for his own goal to take over the galaxy, and so he could be, so he could ascend. When Palpatine finds out that the Jedi he befriended senses a Sith Lord in the Senate and is very close to finding him, and Sidious he gets very suspicious. So the Jedi tells Palpatine this and tells him the planet where he's being sent. Palpatine has no choice but to just destroy him completely, so he can resume his cover as Chancellor and Palpatine in general. He tells Dooku to annihilate all the troops at the planet and kill this Jedi. They do so, and Palpatine is safe. The next story is my favorite. The Battle of Jabim, with Hayden Blackman writes this tale and also writes the tale Obsession, which is in the Clone Wars Volume 3. And he just writes epic work. And he doesn't do too much Star Wars material. That I don't get, and he deserves to do more. He's great at it. Brian Ching does the artwork, and as you can expect, he does a fantastic job at it. And he also does Knights of the Old Republic series. I definitely must read, and the Omnibus is actually coming out September 2013, so I definitely recommend reading that too. And I'll also do a review on that. So Battle of Jabim starts in Jabim with the Republic invading this planet to restore order because it's in chaos with a civil war between two sides, one favoring the Republic, one favoring the Confederacy. um, the Republic side, they want to restore order, and they join the Jabim side, which had a council, but they're killed off by an usurper by the name of Alto Stratus. But first off, let me mention a few drawings of Alpha. The art trooper has joined with Obi-Wan and Anakin on their adventures. The artwork is fantastic. It's epic in scale. And he just looks and feels like a fucking badass. That's the way you should portray it. But I just wanted to mention that. But Stratus attacks the Republic camp and kills off tons of Jedi and clones. I mean, one Jedi gets fucking stabbed in the chest from behind and protruding from her. Oh my, it gets pretty crazy. It gets really crazy. And AT-AT, yeah, the Republic has him. Oh man, and it goes down. And these things go down crazy in Battle of Jabin, or I think it was like one or two of them. They get destroyed pretty easily. And Obi-Wan and Alpha go to the AT-AT and try to rescue the clones, but the AT-AT suddenly explodes, supposedly killing off Obi-Wan and Alpha. Anakin is now left alone with a band of Jedi Padawans by his side. This battle has to be the worst because it goes on for nearly 42 or more days of non-stop rain. Day 28, one Jedi is on the ground defeated, and Alto shows up. He cuts off the guy's head, the Jedi's head, and holds his head. I was like, wow. I mean, it just shows that Jedi are mortal too. They're not like invincible as they're always seen. Alto tells an emotional story of how his cousin was crawling through the mud and her legs crushed and bleeding through her guts while he cuts off the guy's head. Yeah, it gets real from there. The Jedi who got his head chopped off apparently lost 9,000 clone troopers and 18 Jedi dead. Just hearing that number, the total number has to be 10 times that amount. It's probably like 100,000 lost, or even more than that. It has to be one of the worst battles, and in the Clone Wars. So, like I said, Jabim is a planet that constantly rains 24/7, and fighting in rain for 42 days has to be the worst. So Alto wants to raise the Jedi base that the Padawans are in, and the Padawans, including Anakin, know they must make a stand against the incoming Separatist horde. So they set up defenses, but Anakin gets a call at the very last moment from Palpatine telling him to come back to Coruscant and lead the evacuations on Jabim. Palpatine, I'm pretty sure he knew what was coming, and he sensed it, and he just said, "Come back, okay? I know you're gonna get wiped out. Just don't even fucking risk it." So he's genius at that. Anakin leaves before the battle starts, and one Padawan he had a friendship with tells him to leave a good life because they're gonna fucking die anyway. The Padawans die one by one, and this battle goes on 4 straight days. One of the Padawans kills Stratus. She is killed too, and all the Jedi and the Separatists and the clones, they're all destroyed in that battle. They're all killed, everyone. Anakin leaves, and he has that same look from Episode 2 when he was searching for his mother in Tatooine. He arrives at the evacuation station, and Republic forces are waiting for him. One officer tells him that there is room for only one source, and Anakin must decide: Republic or Jabim troops. Anakin chooses Republic troops over Jabim troops because he knows that Jabimis are that's their planet, that's their problem. The Republic needs their clones. And the guy just punched the captain of the Jabim forces. He punches Anakin because he has no homeworld now. It's fucking destroyed. It's gone. So he wants to get out of there. He wants him and his troops to get out of there. And they risked everything for the Republic. He doesn't have a home anymore. And he raises his gun to them. Anakin orders the captain to stand down immediately. And Anakin does something that normally does. He force chokes the captain for the first time ever. That's the first time he ever did the force choke. So it's really cool seeing that in action. And he does that for a little bit. And this is just instrumental for Vader because he uses that all the fucking time. The Jabimis, they stand down and they just say they'll never forget. Anakin Skywalker becomes a name scorned on Jabim, and this leads to further down to the Empire issues that will pick up on this, and they will hate the name Skywalker for a very long time until Vader comes back and stuff like that, and that continues on with that. Anakin tells a clone after they get out of the storm. A clone tells him that we have communications are back online. What do you want to send to the Republic? Anakin just says that we lost. We all lost. And you can just feel that emotion coming right at you. And yeah, I mean, not only the Republic lost, Confederacy lost too. Everybody lost in that battle. And that's the Battle of Jabim. One of the most epic Star Wars battles ever, and showing the dark side of Anakin and Obi-Wan like you've never seen. Oh, and Obi-Wan, apparently he's alive. Captured by Ventress. Ventress actually first never had an attraction to break Anakin, but Obi-Wan first. So it was really cool to see that. It's always Anakin, he's like the main character, but it's cool to see Obi-Wan trying to be forced to the dark side, but he never did. Um, I mean, later on, she'll try to tempt Anakin to the dark side later on, but for now, she's she's into Obi-Wan. Anakin has a new master temporarily, Ki-Adi-Mundi, the big-headed guy, big brain fucker. Yeah. Anakin meets with the Shard Heth, and they go to Argonor, another planet they must go to battle at. And it just seems like Anakin never can get a goddamn rest. The next story, Enemy Lines, where Anakin and a Shard, a Tusken Jedi, who battle against Separatists on Argonor. This is really awkward for Anakin because he killed off a tribe of Tuskens in Episode 2 because they tortured his mother to death. Anakin hates the Tuskens with a passion, and they have a lot of disagreements with one another between him and Ashard. As Anakin fixes a ship, he thinks of his mother and Separatists try to attack him as he sees Tuskens in his rage, and kills him and sees Ashard as an enemy. And Anakin tries to kill him as well, and tells him in his rage that he killed off a tribe and he enjoys killing them, and he killed his mother, that they killed his mother, and he'll kill them in return. Shard brings him back to the light and reveals his true face and takes off his mask to show that he's human and not Tusken. If you have read previous Republic issues back then, you will understand Ashard Heth's story. Way back, previous Republic stories. And he'll be instrumental in Legacy series, which is a great series. I love Legacy. I'm more of a big fan of Knights of the Republic, but Legacy is still really, really good. 1 through 50, I believe. Yeah. Ashard doesn't tell Ki-Adi-Mundi of Anakin's history with Tuskens, and Anakin is shocked. He's like, "Why didn't you tell him? You know, you could have just destroyed me, and I wouldn't have become a Jedi anymore." And Ashard tells Anakin that that's his burden to hold. Ashard leaves him by saying, "Did you have the right to kill the Tuskens? And what would you gain out of it? Did you gain anything from it? Anakin, and would you do it again?" And Anakin replies to himself, "Yes, he would annihilate the Tuskens if given another chance." I mean, that's what he says secretly when he's gone. Next story, No Man's Land, picks up with Obi-Wan and Alpha, and they're basically captured and tortured by Asjad Ventress. The story tells how Asjad fell to the dark side and their connection to the planet Ratak. Alpha frees himself and Obi-Wan, and they free other prisoners, including ex-warlord. I'll call him Sharkman because he pretty much looks like a Sharkman. And he tells his story. He was once the ruler and warlord of Ratak, but when humans invaded his planet, and there were many warlords vying for power, Ventress's parents were also warlords and were gunned down by Sharkman. Ventress fled and met up with a Jedi who trained her. They both fought against the warlords and did a good job at it, but as it appears, the other warlords, including Sharkman, joined up and wanted to take out both of them, but only took out Ventress's master, which made Ventress turn to the dark side. They find the statue of the Jedi who trained Ventress, and Obi-Wan takes his lightsaber. They try to escape, but meet up with Ventress and Sharkman gets killed, deservedly. Ventress is pissed that Obi-Wan uses her master's lightsaber, and as Obi-Wan flees, Ventress is broken and feels more pain over her loss than ever. Next tale is not very interesting. Anakin rescued Obi-Wan because he had a dream, a vision of it, that he's still alive, that he's not really dead. He finds his master and they reunite together. Alpha then tells them that he must leave to instruct other clones, notably clone commanders, like Bly, who was in Episode 3. It's a damn shame because I was just getting warmed up to Alpha, and I love fucking Alpha. He was one of my favorite characters from the Clone Wars series. He was a fucking badass, and it's just an awesome fucking dude. And when he comes back, it's not really good. He gets killed off. Well, he doesn't get killed, but he gets beaten fairly easy. It's not even great. Next is Jedi Yoda. Focuses on Yoda's path in the Clone Wars. Not very interesting, not very good. The only good part about it was the artwork. Artwork is fantastic, done by I believe a Japanese person by the name of Hon. Yeah, I'm guessing a Japanese artist because it's like very manga-esque, and the coloring is fantastic. The artwork is fantastic. It's just the story itself is boring as fuck. It's so fucking boring, and coloring is dynamic. It's just very uninteresting, and Yoda doesn't even fight. He fights at the end, and he just does force push when the Jedi gets killed, and it's just fucking stupid. Next story, Show of Force, shows the Jedi Masters battling out with bounty hunters hired by an unknown source who actually went to one planet and killed off whatever. Yeah, killed off some Jedi. Jedi Masters, Mace Windu, CC-10, Kit Fisto, and Aegon infiltrate the Bounty Hunters Guild and fight their way to find who sent the bounty out on Jedi. And they eventually find the person and they kill him off. Quinlan Vos finds the true source before the Jedi Masters and kills him off and brings his head to Dooku. Not exciting stuff at all. Armor, next story, focuses on Ayala Secura and Quinlan Vos. Ayala Secura meets up with Quinlan Vos, her former master, accidentally, and they both try to find a device for both their own factions. Quinlan for Confederacy and Ayala for the Republic. They agree to get the device to the Republic, but at the last moment, Vos deceives Ayala and wants the device for Dooku. Vos threatens to kill Ayala if she doesn't give it up. Ayala says something to Vos, and Vos realizes what he's about to do, and he doesn't. He plays back to Dooku. Oh, very boring to me. Another boring issue. It did build up to the Vos saga, but overall, very boring. General Grievous was a really cool series, and I wish they had more of these issues and more focus on Grievous. Great artwork that should have been used for the crappy fucking Clone Wars cartoon series, not the 3D model shit. I just don't get why TV shows just don't use comic book artists for their TV shows. I mean, I prefer the artwork that Gennady Tartakovsky did. Great fucking series, Clone Wars series, not the new shit. Thank you, George Lucas, for screwing up the Clone Wars yet again. I just really need to do a rant on that. Anyway, one Jedi wants to get revenge on Grievous for killing his master. He bands up with other renegade Jedi, and locals, and enrage with Jedi and try to kill him. It gets interesting, and I'm glad they included this series in the Omnibus. Grievous is a very cool character, but I just wish they put visionaries in the Clone Wars series, because it actually came out after episode 2, and it had various tales of different people. There was one on Grievous, and it told his fucking origins, and it was awesome. I loved it, and it's really a crime not to put that in the Omnibus, because you can't find visionaries anymore. You can't find that shit anymore. Can't find the novel in the Barnes and Nobles or whatever. So the novel tells the backstory of how Grievous came to be. It was like one story of how Grievous came to be. It's actually really good. So the Renegade Jedi face off against Grievous and save the Padawans, but sacrifice their lives doing it. They almost beat Grievous, but at the end they show Grievous still alive. Overall, I liked this omnibus, but it wasn't the greatest. The Last Stand of the Jedi steals the show, as does Enemy Lines, that shows Anakin's dark side. It's cool to see Obi-Wan and Alpha escape by the skin of their teeth, but other than that, it's just not an interesting story. From Ventress's grip and learning about Ventress was cool. The Yoda issue was extremely boring, but still visually impressive. Show and Force and Armor were uninteresting, extremely boring too. I thought it brought it down to becoming at least a great book. Boring and unimpressive. General Grievous was a good story, good artwork. Loved everything about it. Story was great. Yeah, story, artwork, but not epic in scale. I wish they had more tales on General Grievous. The guy's fucking awesome. And in episode 3, they showed him to be a fucking idiot. And he wasn't that much of a badass at all. It's just a goddamn shame. A good omnibus and a good price. It's a good price. $25, not bad at all. Definitely a must buy for Clone Wars fans. Collects in order. It collects in order. I'll leave the description down below. Republic number 64, number 55 to 60 and 62. Jedi Yoda. Republic number 65, 66 and 68. And General Grievous number 1 through 4. So my overall rating for this series is a disappointing 3.5 out of 5. It could have been better if not for some lackluster issues. Just boring, unimpressive issues. Battle of Jabim is a must read. One of the most epic battles I've ever seen in a comic series. So you got at least buy it for that. Just for one part or more, it doesn't matter. So, what is your overall rating of this series? Of this omnibus, I should say. Please like and leave your comments below, and please subscribe to my channel and tell me what you think about the Star Wars so far. Star Wars Omnibus. Alright, thank you. Take care.